All right, we're rolling. Back on for our
Shit, what
ninth
episode? Ninth. God
ninth.
damn, number 9.
Yeah, number 9, our ninth episode together in total. Our second this is the first time we've done one back to back, I believe. Um we've done them before with different episodes spaced in there and everything like that. This is the first one we've done back to back. Um and that was not the plan originally. I tweeted out um, about an hour ago or so, something like that. I was going to be talking to Brian Konkowski. He's running for my fucking my microphone, dude, my microphone slid off the thing I have it like propped up on. It about just smacked me in the face.
60
Well,
seconds in. That's a beautiful. Not
yeah,
even a minute in.
yeah, I was trying to. I don't know. I don't even know what. Yeah, no, it threw me off my game. Oh yeah, no, I was originally this evening going to be talking with Brian Konkowski, who's running for state senate, District 32 in Maryland. But he lives in the East Coast. I live in Central Time, and work ran a little late today. So instead of talking to him this evening, I'm going to talk to him sometime later this week, maybe this weekend, and I'm going to get that episode out the Monday before Election Day, which is less than 2 weeks away. So very excited to talk to him. It couldn't happen tonight. It was just too late. But I will get him on. Day before Election Day. I mean, it's going to be crazy. These midterms are a big deal here in the States, and it's wild. I don't know how he finds the time to even sit down with me, but
he's a libertarian candidate, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, no,
yeah.
Your tour is. We have a election about to be here. I feel like your tour of libertarian candidates, like we're gonna have to, keep on rolling with them. We're gonna have to start looking towards 2024. Get everybody, find out who's running.
Yeah. It's funny. I've actually already talked to, not recorded with, but DM'd someone who is like already running for Congress in 2024. She was running this cycle, but she had some stuff come up. She's going to run in 24. I mean, so, I think we're going to see people start to throw those feelers out there and maybe even go ahead and declare pretty early. 2024 also have a presidential election going on.
Coming.
So, we're going to see presidential candidates start declaring very early. I think, maybe as early as December of this year, or into the spring of next year. But I fully expect that election season is going to take a little bit of a break between November and next year, but it's not going to be that long of a break. Only a couple of months, then we're right back in it.
I think February is like I feel like by February you see all like the crazy types, not crazy types, but like the long shot candidates start throwing their hat in the ring. I think Richard Ojeda is the name that just pops in my head from like 2020 when all like the Democrats were announcing. He announced he was like one of the first ones. And it was like, that shit lasted like a month, but he was an interesting guy. It's like those people who like are looking to kind of like start it, like they already kind of have a bit of a brand going for themselves, and they're kind of unorthodox candidates. They're like, yeah, I'll do it. Like everybody always starts talking about Mark Cuban running for some shit. It's just that time of year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people use it. They already have a brand, and then they use running for president to build that brand up. Like Ojeda is a great example of that, because now he does the I think it's called No Dem Left Behind. I think he's got a PAC and a website, and he uses to elect Democratic candidates. And
he's also got doesn't he have like a CBD brand or some shit?
Oh shit, he might. I don't know.
I think he does. He should fucking sponsor the show.
Yeah, he should come on the show. I would love to have him on the show. I really like him. I'm a fan.
If we were live on Twitter, we could just shout it. We could just try to get him on right now, But
yeah, might have to. Yeah, I don't know. Might have to do a fucking live and just invite a bunch of different. Maybe we can do like a post election Twitter space party for all the libertarian candidates and just invite them on the show, like all of them, and we could just just hang out, talk about stuff.
Yeah, just do a Twitter hangout thing and just
Yeah,
try to set it up for like Thursday after the election's over. I don't know. Maybe you need to give it like maybe Saturday or something like that.
yeah,
That'd be a
yeah.
good one.
It'd be fun just to kind of talk about just talk about their races, what they learned, the results, how they're feeling, what they think they did well, what they think they did could have done better with, everything like that. Just I think I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool idea, and I think it would be pretty cool to go ahead and like help some of them guys get the jump on 2024.
Yeah, just
You
get
know,
kind of like just kind of talk about it more. Get the it's a good time for like a third party for new ideas. Like with like such a tight Congress, like even this is like the opportunity year because everything's like 50-50. So if like if you were the one other voice in the room, then like you would get attention no matter what your party was. But like since it's probably going to be, which is actually a great segue into our next conversation about these Senate races coming up. Since it's probably going to be like 51-49 or something like that. A third
mhm.
party doesn't really, it matters, but it's not the same. Like two. Now you have to have like two. You have to, I don't know. But like if you were to win now, if you were to if like the Libertarian Party or the Forward Party or whoever the fuck was to put all their money into one specific race in one state that was like shit, like Montana or some shit like that, where it's not that many people, it could fucking do something. But they're not paying me for my fucking consulting. So
Yeah, it would be cool to see them do that though. It would just take you'd have to have such a unique set of circumstances to happen for that to even work. Like I think about Utah, their Senate race. They have a Republican incumbent whose name I cannot remember, and then Evan McMullen, who's he's an independent, but he's actually a Democrat, former Republican. Democrats have endorsed him. All this kind of shit, and like that would be a race. Like that's the kind of situation libertarians would have to find themselves in, like for them to actually get a seat. You know, um, it's not. It's not. I don't think it's impossible. I mean, shit. The fucking they did it over there in Utah. Democrats didn't run a candidate and decided to back Evan McMullen, a conservative independent, instead. Like you could run a libertarian against some Democrat somewhere, and then have the Republicans agree to back them, not run one. Like that's really
I
what it
think
would take.
independent would have to be the move. It had to be one of those people that was kind of like a crossover like that, you know, former Republican, now independent, but actually Democrat. So like, their people feel safe and they feel like, it's not just some. I remember like my grandparents telling me when I was younger and shit. I would mention, oh, like libertarian this, libertarian that, or some other third party or some shit, and they would just be like, "There's no point. Like, just stop the nonsense." Like just
Yeah,
shut that shit down real quick. But I don't know. I like the idea. We're not living in the 50s and 60s anymore. This is a new fucking political landscape.
yeah. My parents are also big. Like you can't. Like you have to vote, and you can't throw your vote away. And they see voting third party as throwing your vote away. I just think that's the wrong way to look at it. So like if you've got a Democrat and a Republican and they're both terrible, like why not vote for the Libertarian? Like they might not win, but like you don't owe your vote to one of those two evil fucking assholes, just to be able to say, "Oh, I voted for someone that had a chance to win." So what? Why not throw that support behind the Libertarian, bump their numbers up so that next time around the Libertarians have more influence in the election and the candidates, the people running for office start to act a little more libertarian,
I
you
mean, I
know?
think though the problem is like if you don't win though, if you like they're like, oh, this libertarian got 6%, and it gives like libertarians a shot. Like when it comes around the next time, it's like that 6% that was normally like 2% is now going to be like that 4% that decided to vote for it that you could convince. Like they're not going to like I mean, I feel like it has to be a unique set of circumstances. Like you have to like not have an alternative. Like it has to be like a Republican controlled spot or a Democrat controlled spot. Like that there's no, that one of the major parties doesn't care at all. Otherwise, like you will probably lose if there's any amount of money going into it, I feel like. I don't know. I mean, you will lose, but like that you won't have long-term gains because people will be like, "Well, why did I waste my money on that?" I feel like you need to set up stuff like I don't know. I don't know. You just need to be active. I don't know what political parties do to be active in their fucking communities. I don't know what they used to do, but like I guess unions and shit used to be stronger. So like you could go speak to a large group of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like the scenario I was thinking of in my head when I said, you got a bad Republican and a bad Democrat, I was thinking about the governor race here in Texas, where I live. And I'm going
Yeah.
to vote. And I'm actually probably going to go vote tomorrow, take advantage of some of this early voting. I could have went and voted over the weekend. I just didn't because I'm lazy, and it's a very easy thing to procrastinate. But I might take advantage of that tomorrow. And I'm just not. I don't like Greg Abbott. I think he's he's just not a good governor, and I really don't think Beto would be a good one either. I don't trust him. I don't really like a lot of the stuff that he's running on. I don't want either of them to be governor, and I don't feel like either of them has earned my vote. So why not vote for someone like Mark Tippett, who better matches my ideology, actually stands for things that I also support, and he's also been on the show. So
He's also been on the fucking show. Yeah,
would
that's
love,
so funny.
and I would love to have him back.
It'll be the best thing. Yeah.
especially
No,
especially after I vote for him and he becomes governor. But I
that would be good. Yeah.
I just, like why not vote for him? Like why give my vote to Greg Abbott who doesn't deserve it, or give it to Beto who doesn't deserve it? Why not vote for a guy who's actually up there trying to fight for people's liberties and their freedoms?
I think it's like a great time too because just like, and I think it's going to continue to be fine because I think people are just tired of the bullshit. I think media being the way it is and like everybody being on the internet the way they are, getting just tired. Like that was the thing that Trump did was made everybody pay attention. They're like, what the fuck is going on over here? Like everybody was always pissed, but it was usually older people. Now like I mean, we're in our fucking 20s, and I feel like there's I don't know we're around other 20-year-olds and shit. They all seem to care more, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
People have a lot more people have something to say than they used to have something to say. But I don't know. We've only experienced this fucking life for this many years, so there's really no, you know, everything's just your perspective of it. So maybe it's the
yeah,
same as it was before.
yeah. It's kind of just a new era in politics where, like, most people used to just not give a shit, like, at all. You know what I mean? Like 2/3 of people weren't voting, and they didn't care to. They didn't give a fuck about anything that was going on. Nothing. Like if you wanted to avoid talking to people about politics pre-Trump, it was very easy to do. Very easy. Now it feels like it's impossible. Like people are way more active and engaged and political than they were
You
just
never,
6
you
years
never
ago.
saw some, you never saw somebody wearing like a fucking Bush hat or a fucking Obama
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah. And like making it their whole identity, you know?
That
Like
is
some
true.
people
That
that's
is.
all they got. They don't talk about anything else. They don't do anything else. They don't wear any other hat. I mean, it's become a part of everybody's personal brand, how you vote, whatever ideology you are, what you believe in. Like it's all become a part of your brand. And like the place that maybe, shows that the most is like Twitter. Twitter used to not be nearly as political as it is now, but now
Yeah.
it's like you
I
see
mean,
people put their shit in their names and their display name, their username, their bio, they like, you know,
even
everything on their
people,
social media is centered around it.
but just like I mean, just the regular average person though. Like I feel like even they throw something in their bio that suggests some one thing or another, and like, you know, they might not be as fucking active on like Twitter or pays attention to as many things as me or you, but like, I mean, Trump was one of the biggest fucking people ever to do anything on Twitter. He definitely trickled into your life in one way or another.
And he's going to again.
He's probably going to again.
Maybe. I hope so. I'd love for him to come back to Twitter.
I'd love for him to come on the podcast. Yeah, if he gets free.
Yeah, I'd love for him to come on too. I'm not I'm not the biggest fan of the guy personally, but he did definitely make Twitter more entertaining. He like set the agenda for Twitter because he'd wake up and start tweeting at like 4 a.m, and so then by the time everyone else is waking up and hopping on Twitter, and by the time that the news has really started running more serious shit, more serious shit, I mean like real news shit, like political news shit, they always talked about his tweets. Like that's how they started off everything. Like you
I mean,
won't believe what Trump tweeted.
He would set the agenda for the world to like, or not the world, for like Western media. Probably, but kind of everyone was paying attention to it around the world. Like enough people, or not everyone, but a fair amount of people. Because honestly, because it would really affect the fuck out of the stock market.
Yeah.
Certain things he would say would just do certain shit, and it was just like, I don't know. It was just a different time.
Yeah.
Not a recession. Yeah.
It was profitable to pay attention.
It was profitable to pay attention. Yeah.
To what Trump was tweeting out. I mean, I don't know if he'll come back or not. He said that when this stuff was going on a while back, Trump said he wouldn't come back even if Musk bought it.
I think the thing is, like, his own social media hasn't done all that great. So, like, I think that he might still come back. Because, I mean, the thing is, the only thing anybody sees of his social media is what people post on Twitter of it,
Yeah.
I don't have Truth Social. I mean, I think I have the app downloaded, but I don't think I ever, created the profile and all that shit.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't have one, and I don't know anyone that has one. Even my conservative friends are not. They just don't. They don't care that much to download the app and follow shit. But I mean, clearly some people do. But I don't know if it's not doing that well. Maybe, maybe things are not going well.
My conservative friends don't really give a shit about most of this stuff. They honestly seem to like. They do vote though at the end of the day. Like they don't talk about it because they're usually like, for the most part, they're fucking working a job that requires them to be, pretty actively working and not, not just like flipping through Twitter. I don't know. Everybody has a fucking hour or so that they do something stupid on their phone. So like,
yeah,
I don't know, but like, most of my conservative friends are not that involved in it,
Yeah, no, that is true. Like, all of my, not all of them, but a lot of them are just not. Like I say, they're conservative because that is what they believe and everything like that. But they don't talk about it all the time. Hell, they might not even vote. Like they might not even give a shit enough to actually turn out and vote. A lot of them.
Also, I've noticed like, oh no, continue.
No, it's just they just like they just believe some more conservative things because of their upbringing, where they're from, and like that's kind of they like Trump because they think he's funny and cool and shit like. But that's kind of as deep as they go with it. Hate taxes, that kind of shit.
Yeah, and they like it's not. It's not, yeah, like they don't care enough that their issues that they're concerned about are very much like based on like local things, family things, things like that.
Yeah.
They usually, yeah. So it's like they just aren't like they aren't going for all the fucking nonsense, which is good, because a lot of people want to play games and there's a lot of money to be made in that business. So like it's good to get people riled up. It pays.
Yeah, it definitely does. It pays and it pays off. Like the elections are, for the most part, they're always about like drumming up support and like trying to turn the base out. That's what every politician tries to do in the general election. They're trying to get that reliable, Democrat, Republican base out to vote for him that they know is there, but you have to provide them with something, for them to give a shit, right? Like you have to give them a reason to want to go vote for you. Otherwise, they're going to sit at home and, not vote. They're going to enjoy their evening in. You have to give them something. And so, like, Trump being able to get people riled up and politics becoming something that people are more active in overall. People are starting to get more engaged, and, politicians are, you see how passionate some of these supporters are about the people that they support. I mean, if you can drum up that kind of fucking fire in somebody, to get them not just to vote for you, maybe even to go, work on your campaign or anything like that. Like, the more people you have that are actively repping you and your campaign, the better off you are. And it's just something you didn't really see a lot of. You saw it with Trump and you saw it with Obama. And that was kind of it, though, really. Like, people didn't get super gung-ho excited about a lot of politicians in our lifetime before those two. Not that I can think
No,
of.
not that I can think of. I mean, Obama was. Wait, did you say Obama? Yeah,
Yeah, Obama and Trump were kind of like, they
that
were
was
both,
kind of
they
it.
became superstars.
I'm trying to think. People like to, not in our lifetime, like, yeah, no, not really. I mean, people went nuts over Reagan. That was a little bit before us, but like, I mean,
Yeah, that is
it
true.
wasn't.
People did love
If
him.
it, they loved him, but it wasn't like. I don't know. They just loved him because the Cold War was a different time. It was like it was one of those rally around the flag type things. It
Yeah.
was like we went through a long stretch of that. I mean, this country hasn't existed for that long. We're going through phases of things, and now we're going into a time. You continuously see that shit posted, like what is it? Hard times make tough people, or then tough people make easy times, and easy times make soft people. Then
Be careful,
soft
brother.
people make hard times.
Some people found that offensive a few
I
months
don't
back when
understand.
Joe
What's
Rogan posted it. Do you remember that? I don't know. It
yeah,
was a pretty minor thing, but he posted that on like Instagram or some shit, and some people got offended over
people are fucking
it.
ridiculous.
Oh man, yeah,
No,
no, they are ridiculous. It's like it just it makes sense, you know.
I do remember that. I do remember that now that you mentioned it. But yeah, no,
It just no,
yeah,
it
it
just
does
makes
make
sense.
sense.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, if times get tough, fucking people got to get tough. That's really all they're saying, you know. And if you're fucking,
Like,
if things are going real well and you're living in luxury and you're having a great time and shit's easy for you, then yeah, you are going to become weaker and less capable and,
does
more
anyone
dependent
ever
on other
go?
things.
What generation has ever got to go their whole life without fucking many struggles? None of them. I don't know. Ours was that generation. Well, no, not really. There wasn't serious struggles.
Yeah, I think maybe
Well, there was
ours was kind of like,
2008. Yeah,
oh yeah, see, that was a fucking yeah. It
yeah.
was
That
you know
it
9/11, the wars, 08.
but like 9/11 and the wars, like those were well. There was 9/11 wasn't good and everything, but like there wasn't like the wars. We did have it wasn't like a World War II kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't good. We did get into a war became like an occupation of a place, and like we were at war with like terrorism versus being like country against country. I mean, it was country against country, but not in the same. There was some different things.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
But
Yeah,
now we're
it's
headed.
just
Now we're in like I don't know. People want to. Well, now we're back in Cold War shit. Is really just where we are. We just fucking like went back to Cold War shit.
yeah, pretty much. We're fighting with Russia, via proxy war in Ukraine. We are basically essentially right back into that Cold War thing.
We're at we're at that stage where you're like Cold War, but now see the weird thing is like the major proxy war is being fought between like the UN and Russia, which is like, that's not good. You don't want to do country against fucking a bunch of other countries. Not UN, excuse me. I'm a fucking idiot. NATO.
Yeah.
Not the same thing. Yeah. All these
No.
fucking acronyms and shit get me.
Yeah. It's similar, but it's a lot of
Similar, I
similar.
guess.
It's similar. It's in that
It's like,
ballpark.
yeah, fucking heard it in like an international relations class or some shit.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that is it. It's NATO versus Russia taking place inside Ukraine.
Yeah, and so now, but that's yeah. So we need to go back to like proxy wars and shit. See, we've always done proxy wars. We used to just call them like, I don't know. Reagan was always doing something there. We were always like fucking fighting somewhere, doing some little mission or some shit
Yeah. Yeah. And we did
for
them big
democracy.
too for a while. Like, I mean, Vietnam and Korea both were proxy wars with China. They just took place in other countries. We were fighting the spread of communism.
That's what it
But
was. Yeah, a
that's
lot
it.
of that shit.
And like a lot of U.S. troops died and everything like that. I mean, it's fucking horrific. But like that, I mean, that is what that was. And we are doing the same thing with Ukraine right now. We haven't put any troops on the ground, and hopefully we will not do that.
Be so
Um,
stupid. We should have learned from the other wasted war. Hopefully, and I think that fucking the nuke shit is stupid. I think everybody realizes that's just not a good idea. Hopefully, knock on some wood though. You know,
yeah, you would hope. I wouldn't. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's hard to imagine somebody using a nuclear weapon today. It's just like I don't know. You once thought that like despite all of our differences, we all used to be on the same page that nuclear war was something to be avoided at all cost. And now there are people that don't seem to fucking think that way. And it would just be so it would like even if it didn't kill that many people, right? Like it would still like just the implication of another country other than the United States using a nuclear weapon in war, killing however many people, like just like allowing them to do that and get away with it and do it, it would have I think the consequences from that alone would be real bad. Then other countries who have nuclear weapons can be like, well, I can use one and nobody's going to do shit to me. So it's a dangerous game to play.
no, it's a very dangerous game to play. It needs to be avoided at all costs.
Yeah, it does that. I don't know. I hope
I mean, I think
fucking
that like I think that the solution is the solution is like well, it's hopefully the solution with this is like media and being able to like something like where you can connect I don't know what Starlink and shit like that, something where everybody can be we can all get on the same page and be like, okay, let's not do nuclear war. If we like if we all come to the decision that if the talking heads decide that they want nuclear war, like we put a stop to that. However, we have to as a collective human like group. Like the CCP has China's biggest military isn't their state military, it's their communist party military. So like, you know,
right.
it's not it's like there's like it doesn't your government has to run things, but like if I don't know, I'm not saying I don't know. There is like if shit hits the fan, then you have to like that's when countries start going to that like totalitarian authoritarian shit or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
That's never
Yeah.
good because then you get like hopefully you get good actors, but you could not.
Yeah. I think they're definitely I really don't know. There has to be some action that needs to be taken if like a nuclear weapon is used, you know. But like I think like in an ideal world, like the citizens would just like get rid of their government.
But like we used a nuke though.
Yeah, but like that's us. It's different when we
We're not
do
a
it.
nuke. But why? What happened when we did it? Who told us we shouldn't do that?
I don't know. It's been a while since I took a history class.
Damn, it has been a minute. I need to go back to school.
I don't know.
Just
I
with
think
just
well, I
yeah.
think that was just kind of when we all decided it was a bad idea. Not that like there's people debate whether we should have used one in Japan or not. There's pros and cons like everything else. Um, but I think like after that, I think people were like, yeah, let's not do that again. And we've been doing pretty
Dude,
good up to this point.
we fucking wiped out a lot of people. Not we, not us. There was like
I didn't.
a weapon. I didn't do
I didn't.
shit. We
I
didn't
didn't
do
do
shit. We
anything.
were not alive. No. Like most people alive today were not alive then.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I mean, it was a decision made by Harry Truman to do it to shorten the length of the war so that the United States wouldn't suffer heavy casualty losses invading Japan. Like could we have taken over Japan without that? Like yeah, maybe. How many troops would we have lost? I don't know. They have estimates and things like how many troops they thought they would lose invading Japan, but I don't know the numbers offhand. So like like was the overall amount of life lost using the nukes worse than what it would have been if we had done like a traditional invasion of Japan? I don't know. It's hard to say because only one of those things happened.
Only one of those things happened. Yeah, it's
You
impossible
know
to say.
what if we didn't do it and then twice as many people total died on both the US and Japan side? You know what I mean? Like it's just like we don't know. We don't know how that would have turned out. We can't. We can only judge our country based on what it did. Not what it thought about doing or what it thought the outcome might be. We just don't know. Other people can have that debate if they want, but like it's pretty clear, I think, to just about everyone that there's no need for anybody to use a nuclear weapon right now in any capacity. There's no Ukraine does not need to use one. Russia does not need to use one. Nobody
There's
nobody
just
needs
no
to be nuking
reason.
anyone.
There's a fight over some territory. There's way like more methods that haven't been used yet. That's like the worst last case scenario. You should never want to use a nuclear weapon, period. But the fear is that like that was kind of the thing with Bush and shit. It was kind of like with that's why like fighting against terrorism was better than fighting against another country because another country will fucking might fuck around. Like if another country starts taking losses of any kind of territory or something like that, then like they might be inclined to like. That's why like Putin saying like I might use a nuke on our own territory that is our shit. That's why that's fucking scary. Is like because like then it comes down to like a dispute over territory. It that is actually then it would become like the use of nuclear weapons to claim territory would be a thing. You'd be like, I'm going to claim this territory, and you tell me it's not mine. I'm going to fucking nuke my own claimed territory.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely don't want that. Like
But
there
like,
has to be a better way to settle disputes over land, you know?
yeah, because
Like
like a lot of people who have some land disputes have nukes, like China, India, you know.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, and if you open up the door for Russia to use a nuke or Ukraine to use a nuke on land that they claim, you know, like what if one of those other major nuclear wielding countries decides to do that for themselves?
I
And
think
then the next one does it.
the solution is to remove all chip making necessities from Taiwan and moves them to the United States.
Yeah.
And then you take it where we have nobody that we have no skin in this game. So then you make it where, like, if the U.S. has no skin in the game, then is there any reason for anybody else to get involved? Because then you make the U.S. making moral decisions. Like, they're no better than you. Right now, we use we used a powerful atomic bomb, whatever the fuck the difference is. Is there a difference? What's the fucking difference?
Wait, between a nuclear weapon and an atomic bomb?
An atomic weapon, atomic bomb. Yeah, what's the fucking...
Well, I think all atomic bombs are nuclear weapons, but not all. Nuclear weapons that includes like a wider variety of things. Like there's a name for like those missiles, right? That have the nuclear warhead on them. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's nuclear weapons come in more forms than just bombs,
ICBMs and shit. Because we dropped an atomic bomb on top of them. We drove a plane over, dropped it on them. We didn't shoot it from a fucking missile silo somewhere.
Yeah, from 2,000, miles away or whatever, right? Like we didn't have that capability at that time. We literally just had to fly them things over and drop them. Fat man and little boy. Isn't that what they called the bombs? There's something for history class for you. Boom. I do remember something, whatever my history teacher's name was.
Shit, yeah, that's good. Yeah. I also don't remember mine now that I'm thinking about it. Dude, do you remember? I heard some shit the other day. I might have said this on our last time we talked. A great trivia question is going to be, who was the fucking prime minister of fucking whatever the fuck when the Queen of England died?
Oh yeah. I don't know if you mentioned that on the podcast or we discussed it privately, but yeah, no, that will be a fucking good one because everyone will forget. She wasn't in there, but what, 44 days?
Something like that. Yeah. No. That's crazy.
Speaking of, have you actually looked at, this is not exactly the same thing, but, world powers getting new leaders. There's been another one as of today. Lula is president again in Brazil.
Has Bolsonaro decided that he said fake election yet or what?
See, I was actually about to. Well, the first thing I was going to look up was how much Lula won by, and then second was going to be if Bolsonaro has said anything, because I really want to know the answer to those two fucking questions. I hope this doesn't play any noise. Let me see. Let's see. Brazil's Supreme. This is from Reuters. Brazil's Supreme Electoral Court declared Lula the next president with 50.9% of the votes versus 49.1% for Bolsonaro. And
so yes, he will contest that.
I would assume so. It's it's kind of hard for me to imagine that he would not. Let's see. So further on in this Reuters article, it says that Bolsonaro's not said anything tonight as far as the election results go, and that he did not call Lula to concede. So, we might get some interesting news when we wake up tomorrow.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Not for Brazil. It'll be entertaining for us, but
a water leak or something like that might have happened at an important fucking, some important fucking election center in Brazil. You never know.
You never know. I don't know what he's going to do, man. I don't know. I don't know. Well, like the polling leading up to the election showed Lula had a clear lead, but it was always so hard to imagine Bolsonaro actually losing just because he is that guy to claim, voter fraud and deny that he lost and everything.
He's already started that. He already laid the groundwork for that.
Yeah.
Which is like apparently a new thing we're doing. I don't know. I think I think this is like a temporary thing that's happening.
Wait, what is a temporary thing?
The election denial thing.
Oh yeah, God, I do hope so. Like, out of all the things, I I know that Bolsonaro is not a fucking American Republican, but Republicans here in the U.S., boy, too many of them fucking deny election results, and I just can't, like, of all the fucking things that Republicans do that I disagree with, like, disagreements are one thing, but to just be like, oh, that election was rigged because your guy lost, and it wouldn't matter which party did it. I'm not fucking,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not in love with either party, but I'm just saying, like, to just be like, oh, that election was rigged, must have been voter fraud, you know, like, just because your guy loses, like, that's what an election is, man. Like, how your sports team doesn't win the fucking title every goddamn year? Elections are the same way.
So I feel
Sometimes
like
you win.
there's like two things there to like something we were talking about earlier and then now is like there's this whole new group of voters that came out now that Trump got there, and like they like just believe everything he says to the point that like they didn't give a fuck before the way they give a fuck now, or maybe
Hmm.
they did give a fuck before. There's a certain type of person who's also very swayable in this world and like just follows and believes whatever the fuck, and just is like just a talking head. Even if we all know those people in our own lives that
Yeah.
just are with whatever the fuck, and so like those people like they got into politics now, and so they like. I think, and I'm glad they're here. I think the more people that vote, the better. We need accurate representation, and so like I want them to become like you want them to be like an informed voter, and you want them to understand the processes of voting, and so I think it's not a bad idea to like go back through and check on everything and make sure we have processes in place. And like we all should fucking since there's this whole new group of people like the past elections have turned out more people than have ever voted before. So why not reinforce like election security? And I think if you frame it that way, everybody can just be like, well, yeah, that fucking that we can all get behind that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that. I don't think there's anyone out there, there shouldn't be anyway, that wants like unsecure elections, right? Like, we all want the election to be secure, fair, sound, no problems, no fraud of any kind. Like, everybody wants that. That's a common goal that we all have. It's just, one side thinks that voter fraud doesn't happen at all, and the other thinks it's very prevalent and a widespread issue. And I think just kind of like emphasizing like what security measures are in place, or like if some place has like outdated machines, maybe get them some new ones, or something like that. Like, there are steps that we could take to help people feel better about the integrity of the elections, and that, like, saying that, shouldn't mean that you're some sort of election denier, or anything like that. I mean, everybody wants secure elections. We just, people need to know that their elections are secure, and it's on the agencies themselves to demonstrate how secure they actually are. To make voters feel safe, and like their vote counts and matters. And
I mean, I
I
think that's important across any. That's important with anything government does, though. I mean, that's part of the reason fucking all these libertarian ideas sound so good is because I don't trust the government to not be fucking around. Like, I know people in the like. I mean, you see your local fucking people out working on the road, and you know them and shit. I mean, some of them maybe. It depends on where you are. If you're back
Yeah,
home and
yeah,
shit, So like, fucking like that they're doing their shit and that they're working and shit like that, but like you also want to make sure that somebody's not lying in their own pockets with your fucking tax dollars and shit. And so I think like with any other fucking institution that exists in this fucking country, whether it's the Department of Transportation or the Department of fucking the Interior, whatever the fuck it is that they do, then they might be the same thing. They're the same thing. I don't fucking know. Is one of them part of the other? I
like
don't fucking know.
you said interior, and
Transportation.
no,
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 those are
no,
two different
no,
ones.
yeah, they're two different departments.
What does Interior do?
It manages like federal land and shit.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's so kind of fucking. Yeah, and transportation has their whole own thing. That's right. Okay. Dude, I haven't been in a political science class in a fucking minute. I need to open a textbook.
Man, Mayor Pete
Shit.
is the transportation
That's right.
secretary. Mayor Pete.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, fucking real qualified guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not I don't know. Yeah, well,
I don't know.
he's up there. He got it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run for election and you lose and you still get rewarded, and that's one of them. That's what a lot of people do. Like a lot of these candidates, after they lose an election or some shit like that, they get appointed to some spot in the federal government because, like, you know, like their career is over or they've just lost whatever seat they're
Well,
gonna have.
they obviously aren't fucking capable of winning the shit right now. So why not fucking give them like something to add to their resume so they might could run again in like 10 years.
See, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They're like, you know, the party does a very good job. Both parties do a very good job of like trying to build up candidates that they think, you know, could run for something big in the future. It's just that the people that they pick usually suck. You know, they're good at promoting them and giving them jobs and making them look, you know, giving them a lot of camera time and shit. But it's just usually the people that they put in those positions suck.
It's usually their friends and shit like that, or their friends or somebody who's kissed their ass. And if you're the friend of a rich person, then you're probably a rich person yourself. And if you're an ass kisser, like I don't typically fucking, you know, most people don't fucking always get along with those kind of people. Mm-hmm. So that's why so many people feel disenfranchised by politics and shit. It's just like okay, all of y'all motherfuckers are dumb as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say that on the podcast, but yeah, I feel like that's what everybody feels.
Well, you said it on the podcast, so it's staying because I don't feel like doing any editing, so it's in there. One thing I do want to do because we'll probably wrap up here pretty soon, but one thing that I texted you this earlier this week, and we don't have to go into like a deep dive into every midterm race. We're 47 minutes into the podcast, but I did want to mention that like 2 months ago, or maybe even a month ago, I would have said that I thought Democrats were going to hold the Senate and Republicans were going to take back the House. And the latter is a given. Like nobody really is out there disputing that Democrats are going to take back the House or Republicans are going to take back the House. Yeah, nobody really disputes that. It's the Senate where people have more questions. And before this past week or two, I probably would have, I would have said Democrats are going to keep it, but I don't think they are. I think there are a couple of things that factor into it, but like there's a handful of close races going on that are going to decide how the Senate plays out. And, Georgia is one of them. And I think Herschel Walker is such a terrible candidate that I think Republicans have completely screwed up their opportunity there. I think, I think they had an opportunity to flip that seat back earlier in the cycle, but I think with like the fourth abortion story coming out about Herschel Walker, his terrible debate performance, I think he's dead in the water. I think he is. So I think
he's clearly like fucking. I guess you're probably not going to have him on the show. I'd love it if he came on though. But
I would love to have him. Herschel Walker can come on this show any day of the week.
But he obviously.
I'd love to talk to him about his football career.
I've watched, his football career is something, dude. I remember watching the fucking documentaries about him and shit, and he was like he sounded dumb as fuck back then, and I was like, he's fucking bumped his head. But now it's like, he hasn't changed, you don't get better, I've always heard your brain doesn't repair itself, but
and it
I wasn't
doesn't.
sure. I was hoping it would. But no, I might be fucked too.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't. Herschel Walker is definitely a case study in that. If you're expecting your brain to get better over time, it will not. So I mean, we could do a whole episode about fucking Georgia, I feel like, but so Herschel Walker's not going to win there. But yeah, Pennsylvania was one of the ones I wanted to highlight because In
Speaking of
short,
brain activity,
in short, I think Republicans' path to victory for the Senate, taking back the Senate, runs through Pennsylvania and Nevada. I think those are the two that maybe 2 months ago I wouldn't have said Republicans are going to win. I think everything else is basically a lock. I think Republicans keep North Carolina. I think Vance wins in Ohio. I think Ron Johnson keeps his seat in Wisconsin. I think the Utah Republican keeps his. I think Mark Kelly keeps his. That all stays the same. Pennsylvania and Nevada, those are the two that I think flip.
I
And you
I think
mentioned
well,
Fetterman.
I think so. I think Fetterman. I think if you had asked me 6 months ago, I would have been like, yeah, obviously. But and like honestly, it sucks. It fucking sucks because like if he was able to just write down his ideas and like I think Oz went on 60 Minutes or some shit like that. I think he apologized for the shitty stuff his campaign was saying. I don't know if he apologized, but he was just kind of like, yeah, I recognize that I'm being an asshole. But like it's unfortunate because Fetterman, I've always thought he was kind of an interesting guy. He's a little bit radical. Some of the shit he said, I didn't know he said it back in the day. I like a
Yeah.
guy who dresses like shit because I like to dress like shit. So like,
Yeah.
but
I'm actually going as John Fetterman for Halloween, and the best part about that is I don't have to change my wardrobe at all.
no, he's yeah, you just
I
gotta
just have to
fucking,
walk outside.
you just gotta walk outside. You honestly can act about the fucking same. No, he's all right though.
Yeah, is he? Did you watch that debate?
No, it was. I mean, like you heard the Chuck Schumer fucking like mic drop though. How he was like, "No, I think we're all right in PA." He said, "I think we're good," but I don't know, bro. I think Schumer's wrong.
I think
The
he's
thing.
fucking dead wrong.
I think the
Oh,
thing is though that's interesting. So I think Oz. While I do think if there's anybody who's gonna like upset what the fucking polling is gonna say, it's gonna be Oz, and he's gonna wait. It is saying that he's like losing right now, right?
Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So
He's
like
still
I think
behind in polling, but oh wait,
he can. I
actually,
think
no. Do what?
no. Go ahead. No,
No,
you
I
got a
was gonna
poll. Let me
say
know.
so. No, I was gonna say so. Like literally every poll conducted before the debate had Fetterman ahead. I checked this the other day. All of them, every single one, had Fetterman ahead. There have been 3 polls run that I saw anyway after the debate. They all have Oz ahead, and it's a significant swing. Like Oz bumps up by 5 to 8 points, and Fetterman drops that same amount. But like every poll since that debate has had Oz ahead. And I think that debate was the death blow. I don't know. Honestly, I
Whether it wasn't even the stroke shit. It was just that he fucking Oz got him on shit. He was like, this guy doesn't have fucking plans. And it's like, and also besides that, Oz is also kind of a really moderate. And I think if he wins, when the fucking Senate is split, he will be that deciding vote. A lot of times, he'll be that guy that caucuses with fucking Democrats on certain issues. You know, maybe. I don't know.
I think he's more likely to do it than a lot of these other candidates that we're talking about. I mean, if you're going to compare him just to people that are also running in this cycle, I mean, I think that's probably a fair bet. You know, well, he
It
like
won't. It
has
will.
to, you know, because he's from Pennsylvania and they're pretty moderate up there.
Yeah,
They just
they are
are.
pretty
I mean,
moderate up there. They just are. Yeah.
you know that's why they, you know, well, I mean, Fetterman was seen as like in his primary he was seen as the moderate. Like him and Connor Lamb were 2 moderates duking it out, and then they had Malcolm Kenyatta, the state legislator there. He was the progressive guy, and you know, like Fetterman won because he was seen as a moderate. And of course now Oz is going back and pulling quotes of his from the past showing that he supported things like a fracking ban. And you know, that was one of the moments in the debate where, you know, Fetterman looked the worst. He just repeated, you know, I support fracking 4 times in a row. And that was it. Like he just
Yeah.
didn't, you know, and I mean, Oz is right. Like he did say that he wanted to ban fracking. He signed a pledge stating that he would do that or that he would support that. And now he's flip-flopped because the general election is here and this thing is fucking, is razor thin. Razor thin. See, I still think it's going to be close. I don't think Oz is going to win this easily. As weird as that is, I still don't think it'll be that easy for him. I think it will be close.
Are they debating again?
Nah, that's the only one they had.
Ah,
They're going to
shit.
have
That's
just the one.
kind of sucks. I'd love to see a written thing because I think Fetterman. I know in the past, like I think he's just a fucking just based on I don't know. Maybe it's all a fucking show, but based on the way he acted, even like pre-stroke, all that shit, it's fucking like he seemed like he was really like he could write his ideas out. I think that he would be good, but I don't know if that's. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think he's a guy who could like move in an okay direction, but also I think Oz is like I don't think they're really like they're not that different, you know. They would both
Yeah.
probably kind of do the same shit.
Yeah. I
Well, I
think
mean,
he might.
they would vote slightly differently, but I mean, on obvious shit, but like they wouldn't vote. Yeah, go ahead. Like how you talk about people who vote with the president or against the president, whoever the president is. I think
Yeah.
that like they would land equally in their parties.
Like Oz would be one of the Republicans that voted with Biden the most, and Fetterman would be one of the Democrats that voted with Biden the least.
Yeah.
Like Fetterman, he'd vote with the president more than like Mark Kelly does, or Joe Manchin does, but probably not that much, more than them. And I
No,
think
because
Oz would
like,
be, same thing. I think he might vote with Democrats a decent amount of the time.
and I mean, I think that like honestly, if you look at trends of that through history, that's probably the case because like if you're a fucking Texas Democrat and you start voting against energy shit, you're gonna like you're not gonna you don't vote the same. Your issues aren't the same in your state. So like you just have to like play your cards right so you can get elected again. And that's just the game at the end of the day. And that's why it's hard for a third party candidate to get there and shake shit up. Because like it's unfortunate because like if you want to talk about moving issues on your like this is just I don't know, just the fun issues, the shit that like the stupid shit, like the distractions, the big shit, also like the abortion shit, all that kind of shit. If you want to move that, it'd be beneficial to have a third party candidate. But if you want to just continue to move shit along for your state, then it's probably just better to vote for the Republican or the Democrat.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's right. I don't know. I think that's why people like libertarians need to get their messaging out more. I feel like libertarianism is pitched wrong, like in the wrong way to people. And I think if they adapted their messaging to modern times and they kind of pitch themselves like, like as a party that's willing to work with the other sides where it makes sense. And like, I don't know, libertarians offer like a very unique ideological fucking thing that we kind of just don't really have now here in like Congress or anywhere. And I don't know. I think they're not really going to make a lot of progress in these midterms as much as it sucks. But I don't know. Like we said earlier, maybe 2024 they can get a little momentum going behind them and maybe win some races, local races, state races, shit like that. That's why I love
Go vote
talking
for
to
that shit.
libertarians.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I love talking to libertarians that are running for that shit. You know, because well, the guy that I was going to have on tonight, Brian Kunkowski, he's running for state senate, and he's running against a Republican. There's no Democrat, so he has like an opportunity to pick up a significant amount of the vote. I mean, Dan Berman ran for state house, the Dan taxation and theft guy. He talked to him, a couple months back too. He ran I think it was state house or state senate here in San Antonio, oddly enough. And he got like 20 something percent of the vote. He was running against a Democrat, no Republican. And he got like 20 something percent of the vote. And like, it's obviously not enough, and it's not really close to where they'd like to be ideally. But that's more than the fucking 0 to 3% that libertarians usually get, you know? That's a decent chunk of the
Yeah.
vote. Libertarians could, if they wanted to, put up a fight in those local state level seats where they're only running against one other person. Fucking direct some
You
resources down
could,
that way.
dude, if you did some research, you could definitely find seats that were in like lower populated areas who might agree with some libertarian shit. And
Yeah,
like you could definitely win those state house seats easily.
yeah,
Easily. Like there's places where there's fucking 2,000 people living in a place, you know? Probably. I don't know. I'd have to go fucking look it
yeah.
up, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, there definitely is. And like voter turnout there is probably super low.
It's
So
super low.
like
And how much money would you have to spend to go knock on everybody's door? To go
nothing,
fucking send everybody a fucking text? Not shit.
nothing,
And then you'd
nothing.
have seats. You need to do that to fucking 5 places in one fucking state that, then you have fucking a voice somewhere. They should just take over a fucking state. Or not, can't really do it in popular states though. You got to do it in like a fucking, I don't know. I got to do some research. We also got to
Well,
fucking wrap this shit up because, yeah, we were fucking hour in and I got to fucking wake up at some point in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah, they should do it in Wyoming.
Yeah,
Wyoming would be a
you're just
great.
like, yeah, no, I got.
No, Wyoming would be a good spot for them to all gang up and like run that state. I think it's perfect. Not that like it's the least populous state in the whole fucking country. Nobody lives there. They're already conservative. They probably hate the government. Why not?
All that shit up there. Any of those fucking lowly populated states. Like, why not? Why not have it? And then you get Senate seats, bitch. You get fucking a lot of fucking voice
Lots of
instantly.
power. Lots of power. If you hold one or two Senate seats, you basically can control the Senate if you play your cards right. One last thing I want to mention before we do wrap up here, that other key to victory for Republicans, in addition to Pennsylvania, is Nevada with Adam Laxalt. We've talked about him
I
before.
think, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if we talked about it. You guys have to fucking go into it. But from the things I've read, is like that's gonna go red for sure.
Yeah, see, it didn't look that way until um, maybe a month or so back. Maybe not that much more than that. It's like he was polling behind in a lot of shit, and then all of a sudden the polling just switched. I mean, he's got Trump support. He's got DeSantis's support. He was the first guy that DeSantis endorsed out of state. And now all the polls have him by a few points. That one right there, that and Pennsylvania are going to be the two that Democrats lose in November, and it's going to be the two that give Republicans the majority. You can call it. I've predicted it here on the
You
show.
said
Not,
you said Nevada and Pennsylvania.
yeah, those are the two.
You think
Write it
Oz? You
down.
think Oz will do it?
Yeah, yeah,
Shit, that's good.
yeah. I know. I mean, I think he does. I think it's those two. I think that's the path to victory for Republicans. It could fuck up if they lose Ohio or Wisconsin. It'll fuck them up. But no, I think that's their path to victory. I've called it. It's not that impressive a prediction considering Election Day is like less than 2 weeks away. But I gave out all my other Senate predictions basically on the podcast. I did it kind of quickly, but we can come back after the election and see how correct I
Oh,
was.
are we on for? No, you should have another one. You're supposed to. You have your tonight's guest is scheduled for next week, probably, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk later this week, maybe this weekend, and I'm gonna get that episode out Monday before Election Day.
Okay, because I would also like. Well, then we better say it here. Fucking shit, I done forgot. Oh, the governor races. We should fucking. I don't know how those are gonna go. I need to look a little bit into those, but like, no,
They're
some
not
of
as
those are gonna be
exciting as the
interesting to see.
Senate races, like they're not as I don't know. Well, they're exciting, but they really only affect you if you live in one of those states. I do live in one of those states.
You do live in one of the
I
states.
do. That's how it happened.
Oh yeah, you did. You already kind of. Yeah, you did already kind of
Oh
fucking
yeah,
go
I
over
said
that.
I'm going to vote for
Yeah.
Mark Tippett, baby. Mark Tippett for Texas. He's going to. I about messed up his name right there. I didn't mean to. It's an easy name. My bad, Mark. I'm going to vote for him, so I don't think he'll mind.
Nah, it's all good. Just make sure. Yeah, no, fucking. As long as you can pick the right choice on your fucking ballot, you're all good. Shit.
I don't know, man. It might be
Yeah.
tough. No, that's all I got. I think we've covered it. We covered Lula, Bolsonaro. We covered the Senate
Ah,
races. It's coming down to it. What
free
did you?
agency is this Tuesday. That's all I was thinking.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to that.
NFL.
That's I mean,
We didn't get to that. That's all right. We'll
well,
stick with just a
it,
political episode.
it's been a
Shit.
solid political episode. It's been mostly serious. It's been a good one. No, but I mean that's all we've got for now. Um, then the next time
Kareem
we do
Hunt.
one of these, it'll be after Election Day.
Let me throw in the one fucking free agent. Kareem Hunt. Is it gonna be? It will be after election day. Shit, maybe we'll put one out on like Wednesday sometime. Thursday or something. Just fucking
Maybe
an extra one.
shit. Maybe we do one. I don't know. Maybe we do a live thing the Monday before Election Day.
Why not just well yeah, I guess yeah.
I
Maybe.
don't know.
Yeah,
We
that's
we
not
have
a bad idea.
options. We have plenty of options. I'm sure we'll talk about it at length
Yeah,
uh,
no, fucking for
sometime in
sure.
the future. But yeah, no, that's all. That's all from us for now. You're gonna get this episode uploaded probably sometime tomorrow morning.
Shit.
Halloween. Damn, we did we talk about Halloween at all in this episode?
It's a solid holiday. I'm sad October is gonna be over, but also the next 2 months are solid too. I don't know. Winter's a
Ah,
fucking you're in Texas, so it's all the same for you.
yeah. We don't really have seasons. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Shit.
That's it from us. Look out for the next episode
That's it.
whenever it comes out. Who knows when that'll be? But we're out.